So Elon Musk is having another public meltdown, freak out again. And what does he do when he freaks out? He sues. And this time, guys, he's suing Apple and OpenAI. That's it of today's video. These are the headlines. Elon Musk XAI sues Apple and OpenAI over App Store rankings. So I guess if you're not popular, you're like, oh, why aren't I popular? I'm going to sue, right? I mean, just think about that. It's so ridiculous. What else would say? The XAI lawsuit claims that Grok's ranking below ChatGPT is a sign of allegedly monopolistic behavior. Maybe. That's why I wanted to read this one with you because it really caught my attention. And Elon's always up to some crazy stuff. I personally think that he knows he's in trouble financially because he's falling behind, be it Tesla, XAI, or whatever. And so that's when in doubt, sue. So that's what it says. Elon Musk XAI filed a lawsuit against Apple and OpenAI on Monday. I mean, my first reaction is good luck with that, but you never know. Accusing the companies of behaving like monopolies and claiming Apple deprioritized ChatGPT rivals like Grok in the App Store. So he's Elon Musk, of all people, who manipulates Twitter. He's arguing that App Store rankings are manipulated. This is a tale of two monopolists, okay, joining forces to ensure their continued dominance in a world rapidly driven by most powerful technology humanity has ever created. This is literally what the lawsuit says. Artificial intelligence, okay? The lawsuit alleges working in tandem, defendants Apple and OpenAI have locked up markets to maintain their monopolies to prevent innovators like X and XAI from competing. Okay, so we're accusing Apple and OpenAI of being a monopoly. So to be fair, there could be some truth to that if indeed the way that these tech companies work, if like by default, you have to have a ChatGPT on your phone and the consumer doesn't really have any choice and that locks out other, competitors. For example, let's say you have a computer and the default browser, say Internet Explorer, and then that means like Chrome, Firefox, Opera, or, whatever browsers have no chance to get on a PC, or I won't say no chance, a better way to put it is they're kind of invisible to many consumers. So Musk may have a point here, but you got to prove that to a judge, of course. And also, you have to look at everything. So this is where it gets interesting. It says Grok is currently ranked third in the App Store for free productivity apps, behind only ChatGPT and Gmail. And when you see that and you put it in context, I mean, his app's actually not doing that bad, to be fair. I mean, ranked third, and you just have to think, logically speaking, ChatGPT and Gmail, those are pretty popular apps. And if Grok's number 3, are you really going to try to make the case that you're just being, manipulated and downvoted through, monopolist practice? I mean, you're still third place in the App Store. I mean, quote, the uncensored chatbot is also integrated into Musk's social platform, and then uncensored in quotes because basically Musk has a bunch of not safe for work kind of stuff on his platform. If you guys ever seen it, I'm sure you know. Which is number 1 free news app in the App Stores, right? So then, right, that's a good point. So his Twitter/X is ranked fairly high in the App Store. So like, what's your complaint here, Musk? Well, that's what we're going to see. The lawsuit takes particular issue with Apple's integration of ChatGPT into the iOS operating system last year. So I said, I think that might be legitimate because other, AI companies are like, hey, I want to be on the iPhone. What's going on with that? This means that if iPhone users want to use a generative AI chatbot for their key tasks on their devices, they have no choice but to use ChatGPT. Okay. This is according to the lawsuit. Okay. Even if they would prefer to use more innovative and imaginative products like XAI's Grok, the lawsuit claims, while Apple has not announced integrations with other chatbots, the OpenAI partnership was not named as an exclusive at launch. Nothing in Apple's operating system prevents iPhone users from accessing chatbots like Grok, right? So the other issue would be with, I think how it works now, because I have an iPhone and I like my Apple iPhone, just full disclosure. Siri's not that good. It's just, objectively speaking, Siri's not great compared to, say, Google Voice, which works pretty good, or, I think Google's got Gemini, then you got ChatGPT and, Grok or whatever. And there's a bunch of choices out there these days. So Apple's like, I think they did partner with ChatGPT, so that part's true. But then are they open to other partnerships, or are they like purposely denying said partnerships? So that's where I think Elon would have to prove like, hey, I try to do, business and put my thing on the iPhone, but they said no, or blah, blah, blah. But that I think that's kind of a weak argument when you're third in the rankings, you're high in the rankings for Twitter. And then, the only one you'd be able to possibly get, in my opinion, would be the integration part, because I think the way that it works now is if you want to switch from Siri to ChatGPT, I think you can do that. But who knows? I mean, there's nothing stopping him. I don't think so. But if Elon would have to prove that Apple's like not want to, give you the option to put your Grok part to replace Siri, I think that would be where Elon has a case. Elon does obviously want people to try Grok. He tweets out this kind of stuff lately. He tweets out all kinds of crazy things. And there's something I want to bring up. I'm not going to mention any specific names, but I'll just say this. There are many YouTube channels out there these days that push out AI, basically fake images. And my opinion on this stuff is it's only going to get worse. And there's real dangers to saying using AI voices, AI, video, images, etc. You guys know what I'm saying, where the fake news situation is going to get a heck of a lot worse, where it's going to be a lot harder for people, and it's even hard today, right? But it's going to get even more harder, more difficult for people to decipher what is real and what's not real. So the AI stuff, I'm a bit leery of in that regard. And even my wife, Yeji, she was mentioning that we have a big problem, I guess, with voice phishing these days, to where someone can like mimic a family member's voice. So then you think like, say your spouse is calling you, one of your kids, and like, hey, I need money, send money to blah, 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 blah. Like when that technology, and already you guys know, you kind of probably already know this technology exists. I'm just saying there's a lot of dangers with this stuff, and Elon Musk could be like, oh, well, that's free speech, like that kind of stuff. So I don't trust Elon Musk with data or anything stuff like that already. And so let alone getting Elon Musk on your phone to spy on you, let alone ChatGPT. I mean, that's a whole other issue. So, but this is what I just want to mention. Just be careful. There's a lot of channels that have been pushing out a lot of AI content, and it's just AI slop is what you could call it. And then there's some that purposely are misleading you and stuff. It's getting pretty crazy out there. This is Sam Altman. They were arguing with Elon before. Altman says, this is a remarkable claim, given what I have heard alleged that Elon does to manipulate X to benefit himself and his own companies and harm his competitors and people he doesn't like, right? And this was back in August 12th. So, a couple weeks ago, Elon was saying Apple is behaving in a manner that makes it impossible for any AI company besides OpenAI to reach #1 in the App Store, which is an unequivocal antitrust violation. XAI will take immediate legal action. And then actually, it's funny, Elon Musk got fact-checked, I guess, on his own platform here, where people are saying, hey, the DeepSync thing from China hit #1. So Perplexity at one point was #1. And then they're saying here that the OpenAI Apple partnership was back in June 10th, 2024. So Elon makes up a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys know. That's probably, but like I said, I wanted to be fair though, because, when you do sue someone, there are multiple points that you could try to, prove, right? They're also arguing more. Altman says, lots has been said about this. Here is one thing. And there was an article he's saying, yes, Elon Musk created a special system for showing you all his tweets first. And I'll just say this, I've experienced it firsthand. If you install X on your phone, because I took it off, so this is a while ago and I deleted my account on X, so there's that. But if you have your platform on Elon Musk platform on your phone, you would actually get notifications whenever Elon tweets stuff, or whenever you open the app, like Elon's tweets show up first. It was like really noticeable. And so it's kind of funny, there's an article about that. Because if you've experienced that, it's yes, because Elon manipulates the system. So it's funny that Elon is accusing other people of doing something like that. Altman also says, I hope someone will counter discovery on this. I and many others would love to know what's been happening, but OpenAI will just stay focused on making great products. Okay. Elon then says, you got 3 million views on your BS post. You liar, far more than I've received on many of mine, despite having 50 times your follower count. Like they're arguing about who's got the more views. This is Elon and Sam. This is like how crazy this ridiculous world is. Sam then says, will you sign an affidavit that you have never directed changes to the X algorithm in a way that has hurt your competitors or helped your own companies? I will apologize if you do so. Wow, that's really calling out Elon there. And to give you an idea of like how far OpenAI is ahead, Altman, they're just announcing a couple days ago that I guess they're opening an office in India. You can see right there. I know that Elon is burning a ton of money over at Twitter and XAI, I also know that Elon has been shuffling money around his companies to try to figure out how to get this work. And then I wouldn't be shocked if Elon tries to get a way to get Tesla money to support his AI thing, because Elon doesn't care about Tesla that much these days. And I've noticed that many of the Tesla influencers are really falling off because people don't want to fall for Elon's BS anymore. So there's that. And yes, there are Tesla influencers out there, or Tesla stock promoters, or Tesla fanboys and fangirls, whatever phrase you want to use. It's actually quite interesting. Let's see what more. This is from OpenAI. They say, this latest filing is consistent with Mr. Musk's ongoing pattern of harassment. That's what they're saying. And that was coming from the spokesperson of OpenAI. It also says here, the effect of this alleged collusion is that these consumers have less choice. So XAI, this is more of their claims. There's the claims. These effects of the market: less competition, less scale necessary to compete, less investment, and less innovation, ultimately harm consumers through lower quality, less choice, and higher prices than would exist in the but-for world without the defendant's anti-competitive product, lawsuit reads. So again, I think some of these things that if you can prove it, I'm not for monopolies. I'm against monopolies. So if you can win this one, so be it. So even if I don't like Elon, doesn't mean that all this lawsuit is completely bogus. Some parts he may have a chance at. And then I guess they were talking about before, Altman talking about his relationship with OpenAI and Apple. Altman then said in an interview, maybe they've decided to look, we're not going to catch up on the models. There's enough competition. Is there a place you want to be their primary partner? Talking about, do you want to be partnering with Apple or not? And then I guess Altman hired or working with Johnny Ive, and that used to be the popular designer over at Apple. It says here, Altman didn't answer the question directly. Apple's my favorite tech company. That is not OpenAI, okay? Apple is currently working with famed former Apple designer Johnny Ive on an AI hardware product. Altman said at the dinner the product would be, quote, a new computing paradigm, though he declined to share details of the project. So the reason why that is important is because if ChatGPT and OpenAI are, partnering with Apple, does that mean that Altman's not going to make their own phone? Because who knows? Maybe, OpenAI gets into the phone business or computer business or whatever, and, hardware, maybe it's going to be goggles. I don't know. I'm just saying. And there even says right here that Altman didn't even, describe what that is. And I know that Elon Musk, if you look at other stuff that they've been arguing about, Musk wants to build a super app. So meaning that he wants to have, your banking and your crypto and your messaging and your taxi service and your social media and blah, 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 shopping. I put all these things all together in one platform. Generally speaking, that kind of stuff is illegal in the USA, basically a monopoly, conglomerate. In Korea, you call it chaebol. In Japan, you call it zaibatsu. But these kind of things that aren't really legal in USA. So that's sort of why Musk was trying to buy off all the politicians to get around that kind of stuff, because who cares about the law when you got lots of money like Elon? But I'll just say this, I think Elon definitely can see the writing on the wall that Tesla is, basically failing, his XAI is failing and burning money, and other competitors are beating him. And so that's why he sues. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. I want to hear yours, and I'll catch you all in the next video.